Hello, hello. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. How is everybody doing? I am here for another episode of the Who Am I Talk. I've got an amazing guest joining me very, very shortly. His name is Fredi Nwaka, known as Freddy Krueger. He's a director, a producer, a scriptwriter. He used to be in the music industry and he was a hip hop artist that was signed to Wu-Tang, so the Wu-Tang International. Hello everyone that's joined. Demi Black, Edward, how you doing? Where you all calling from? Where you all coming from? How's everybody doing? Obviously, I will never forget the season we're in. So it's really tough right now for a lot of people, especially in different parts of the world. We can never forget what this season has done, but we have to remain positive. Hello. And do our best to inspire, do our best to spread love. That's all we can do in this season. So yeah, I'm very excited. He should be joining me very soon to talk about his career, his story, all what he's been involved in, his coming projects, what he's got going on at the moment. So I'm very excited. There's always a story behind a brand. I think we always see the end result. We never really see the work that goes in to creating a brand, a lifestyle, a career in anything. So this series has been really inspiring for me to find out what people do behind the scenes to create things that we all love. So yeah, I'm just taking my time and waiting for more people to join so we get a good audience. And how's everyone doing? I'm sure you're all glad it's the weekend. I am. It's been a very full-on week. Such a full-on week, but a productive one, I must add. Yeah, so I always enjoy having time with you guys. The series is doing very well. I'm not sure if you know the history, but I put a single out in February and I didn't know what to do because it was in the middle of COVID-19. So I said, you know what, I have a good platform. Why not share it with the world and find out what's going on with other people and not be selfish? I think it's very easy to make it about yourself in this season. But I think we need to spread love and look after one another. So this is what the idea behind it was, and we're here now. I think it's episode 15. How time goes quickly. So I've got some amazing guests that will be joining. I'm really excited. It gets better and better, and I'm meeting more and more people reaching out because they want to tell their story. You know, we've got some powerful stories, and as I said, you always see the end result. You don't see the work. You see the accolade, the award, the finished garment, the finished song, but you never see the work that goes behind all of the things that you see and love out there. So I thought it'd be an opportunity to share this story and share with the world what people are up to. There's some amazing kings and queens. That's what I call people that are doing great things. Kings and queens, you know, creating legacies. It's a really exciting time. Hi, Freddie, you're here. Okay, give me 1 second, guy. So if you can just join my live and I'll see you pop up very, very shortly. Hey, hun. Thank you so much for everyone that has joined. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. And it's really sunny in London. It's nice. The weather's picking up again. So if you can join my live, Freddie, I should see you pop up in the corner and then I'll be able to accept you. So I'll just wait for the gentleman to join. You know what's really nice? I'm really busy. I haven't really gone out that much. I'm avoiding the outside at the moment. But it's really nice to dress up in these environments. Okay, he's here. Give me 1 second, guys. Hey, Fredi.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Fine, how are you?
I'm all right, you know. I'm all right, man. I just come in from a pleasant day with my son, man. It's been beautiful.
Oh, how is he? How is the family? Before we even start talking, how is everyone doing?
Yeah, everyone's good, man. Everyone's good. Do you know what I'm saying? This whole lockdown thing's been crazy, man. So you know how that goes. But my oldest son, I ain't seen him for like 12 weeks. Do you know what I mean? And that's
Oh,
unusual,
wow,
man.
it's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long
Yeah.
time, man. So we hooked up today, man. It was nice. It was nice. How
Oh,
you been?
that's nice. I've been good. You know, I've been busier than I am normally going out. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's the same for
I
me.
think,
It's the same.
I've had a chance to catch up with people because everyone's at home. No one can go, oh, I'll be back in a minute. They're actually at home. So there's been more Zoom calls, more catch up with family, things like that. And I think it's been a really tough time. I'm not going to lie. When it all happened, I was freaking out, you know, thinking, is my family going to be okay, mum and dad? But as time has gone on, we just adapted this to this new norm, didn't we?
Yeah, for real. I mean, it's been. I mean, for me, it's been crazy productive, man. I've written two films and other bits and pieces.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, for a lot of people, it was locked down. I just used that time to focus on, you know what I mean. So yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
No, I think it's, you know what, it's funny you say that before we speak about yourself and I introduce you correctly. A lot of time now is the time to make things better. This season's been a time to really step inside yourself and work out what it is you want to do and who you 100%. Are. You know, definitely. I think it's very easy when we've been so busy running around, traveling, but this is the time we've had introspective moments to sit down and think really what matters, because it's been so precious to know our health is more than anything, our families more than anything. So whereas we used to run and, you know, we used to think that we're chasing things, gave us a chance to stop and go, actually, what matters? Family matters.
100%. Yeah, it's true.
You know?
I was saying to my friend the other day, man, this is the first time where we've had to live in the now, because we're always planning things for next week, next year, next month. This is the first time when we've had to like pause and live in the moment. What's going on? Like, you know, we couldn't think past yesterday, couldn't think past the next day. We had to deal with what's going on right now, man. So
that's correct. And there's this thing about the now, isn't there? It is the now. I think a lot of us are very presumptuous to think that, as you said, I'll meet you next week, or actually I've got this happening next week, and everything just shuts down. It just stopped. It paused, and then it was like, okay, and there was no control. I don't know how you felt. I couldn't control this, and I've got a little bit of a control freak in me. So somehow I didn't have a chance to steer it. We're used to steering our own ship, aren't we? And I wasn't able to do that.
Yeah, it was a bit of a, I guess, a reality check as well, though. I had a chance to kind of like look in myself and, do you know what I mean, figure out some of the things. You know, like sometimes people always say to me, Fredi, you're a robot, man. Like, when do you sleep, man? And when do you chill? And my saying was always the same. I sleep when I'm dead, and I've got stuff to do right now. I'm busy. Do you know what I mean? And this was the first time where I was forced to stop. I didn't even choose to stop. I was just forced. I never had no choice. So it's actually been good. You know, those creative people, made sense of this time. You know, I mean, if you're creative, a lot of us made sense of this break.
Definitely. So I'm going to introduce to you Fredi Nwaka. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, you done good. You done good. Yeah, you done good.
Thank you. And then also known as Fredi Kruger. And you're known, I remember actually seeing you everywhere when you were signed to the Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah. And you was one of the rappers. But, you know, and then there's so much more in between, and you're into film directing, you're into production, script writing. But I want to hear from the beginning, because there's always a story to where you are now. So talk to me. What happened? What was the journey? There was some good bits and some bad bits, I'm sure, because there's always some really struggles in our journey. But that's what makes a man, isn't it?
It's a bit of a mad one. I mean, my journey in music, I guess I started off as a reggae artist, and I was emceeing on a lot of sound systems and around London, and at the same time I joined a gang called Untouchables. Was part of this gang in London, so that's where it kind of first started. And I remember realizing how much attention certain artists were getting on stage, and I was like, you know what, I need to be that person. Do you know what I mean? I need to be that guy getting that kind of attention. So I kind of got heavily involved in the reggae element, chatting on sound systems and things like that. And then PLV from America. Like, do you remember PLV? They had a song out with Jade years ago, like an R&B kind of group.
Vaguely, I think so, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, they came to the UK and was doing a show, and I was like, these guys are kind of cool. So we hook up, hang out, took them to the barber shop, got them a trim and all that kind of stuff.
All the man things.
Yeah, done the man thing. And then they invited me back to the US, and that was it. I started doing this reggae kind of hip-hop thing. And this was at the time when no one was doing reggae over hip-hop. There was Shabba had just blown up with Mr. Lover Lover and that song. Okay. There was Born Jamaicans that had just come out, Few Schnickens. So there wasn't really any, definitely no British reggae artists MCing over hip hop. So I started
No.
that kind of whole trend thing, and I got managed by Kool and the Gang in America.
Really? They
Yeah,
like, that's a legend.
yeah, Robert Bell. Robert Bell was managing me and Link from PLV. So we had a group called Tanaka, and he was our manager. So we was doing bits and pieces in America. Then I came back to the UK, and I was on Choice FM, MCing on Choice FM, doing what I do. And I got a phone call in the studio, and it was like, "Yo, we want to speak to Fredi." And I'm like, "Can we speak to Fredi?" And I said, "Like, who is it?" This was live on air, and it goes,
Really?
"It's Mark Corder from Wu-Tang." So I was just thought someone's just trying to prank, man. Someone's just mucking
Yeah, of
about,
course.
like
Yeah,
got
they
the
can't
phone
be.
down.
They can't be
Yeah,
true.
man, it's a joke thing. Just take the number in it, and then we'll get back to them later. And then after the show, called them up, and it turned out to be real. It was Mark Cordner, who was I guess the CEO of Wu-Tang International at the time.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we've been following you for a while, hearing your energy, seeing you perform, because I opened up for DMX and all those guys back then. And it's like, we want to sign you. We want to sign you to Wu-Tang. And I'm like, what? You want to sign me to
What?
Wu-Tang? Do you know what I mean? I was like, what? Do you know what I mean? Because yeah, we want to sign you to
Crazy.
Wu-Tang, man. So I then became the only British artist to ever been signed to Wu. We recorded an album, loads of press, and then ODB died. And when that
Yeah.
happened, everything went a bit pear-shaped.
Oh, well,
So
so that it's funny you say that because you're right. That was a moment when he passed. It kind of
mm,
you had so name some of the name some of the band
Wu.
members.
So you had
So Wu was
Method
yeah,
Man.
that's the one with the funny
Yeah,
eye, huh?
Method Man's the one that all the women like. Yeah, he was the one that was
Yeah.
Method Man. You had Ghostface, um,
Yes.
Capadonna, You God, Shaheem,
Wow.
Inspector Deck, RZA. Obviously, RZA is
Yeah.
the main man. And then there was me from the UK, and then there's another guy called Silver Rings from Holland, and we were Wu-Tang International, so we were the only
That's
affiliates
crazy.
of Wu. So that was going on for a while, and then obviously when, like I said, when ODB passed away, the whole deal went pear-shaped and just didn't materialize after that. And then I kind of at the same time I was doing bodyguarding as well, so I was doing a lot of other bits and pieces,
Yeah.
and then I just had to kind of carve my own thing out, because what had happened was I was getting approached by loads of labels at that time, but they all thought I was signed to Wu-Tang still. So no one would touch me. So I literally had this album and I was ready to do things, but I couldn't maneuver because no
Of
one would come close to me
course.
because they thought I was signed at the time. So
Yeah.
once I got out of that deal, I just carried on doing what I was doing, and then I got into acting. Done a film with 50 Cent,
Crazy.
and yeah, I kind of stopped rapping. My son put me on the right track, man. I remember he said to me, like, "Dad," I used to say to him every year, like, "Who's your favorite rapper?" And he'd be like, "You are, Dad." "Who's your favorite rapper?"
Oh,
"You are, Dad." And then
of
one day I asked
course.
him, he said, "Dizzy Rascal." I was like, "What?
What?
Dizzy?" Do you know what I mean?
What do you
Like,
mean? Who's
yeah,
that?
it stopped being me. So once it stopped being me, I was like, something's wrong. So then I had to start check myself, and he made me realize that
Oh,
the
bless.
passion. I love the passion in it, and I love MCing, and I love spitting bars and stuff.
Oh,
But there comes a time when you just have to, you know what I mean, mutate, and that's when I got into
yeah.
acting, directing, and so on and
Okay.
so on. So that's the kind of music journey. Yeah,
Yeah. 50. That must have been fun. Because you know what? He's
yeah,
a serious business. You know, we see what's very good, I would say, in the entertainment industry. We create a brand. People don't
yeah,
realize, you know, you are Freddie, but there's another side of Freddie. But there's Freddie
yeah,
on the
yeah,
stage and there's Freddie off the stage.
yeah.
And I love the story. Obviously, we know the story of 50, but, you know, people don't realize this man, his business is just in
He's
a
he
whole nother. He
Yeah, he's like
is
a
taking it somewhere, you know, was it
levels.
vitamin water? Come on, you
Yeah,
know, people don't realize.
I remember he's like one of the most, him and other than Jay-Z that I've met, he's one of the most formidable businessmen that I know, man. I remember when we was doing I done a film with him called Dead Man Running, and
Okay.
he played Mr. Figo, and I played his henchman, his bodyguard in the film. And I'll never forget,
Okay.
we was in our trailers, and I was like, that's the first time I had a trailer. Because before that, you get little bits and
Wow.
pieces. And I remember seeing
And you
50
got your
Cent.
name on it,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they call you.
I saw 50 Cent, and then next to his was Fredi. I said, huh? Yeah,
What?
I'm getting it. You know what I mean? So,
That's amazing.
yeah. And then we was having a conversation about just life and stuff. And I remember he said to me that he was saying to me about how he managed to put water into a bottle and make 200 million, and he was laughing about it. It was like, do you know what I mean? It's the way that he was saying it. It was like, man,
Wow.
I took water and put in the bottle, and I made
And got
200
200
million.
million.
Yeah, literally tap water. So we was
That's
talking about that,
crazy.
and even his mindset on set, he was like, everyone else wanted to go partying and clubbing, and he was like, "Nah, I'm going to my hotel room, man.
Yeah.
All I want is a steak, some water, and I'm going to my hotel room." And I was like,
See?
50s are serious, serious. He said, I didn't come here to party. I came here to work.
No,
I
that's
said, this
right.
guy, yeah, man. And another
And
thing
people
about,
don't, as I said, they don't realize that they're seeing the brand.
yeah,
But if
yeah.
you think the fact he could build an empire like that, there's got to be some level of professionalism, order,
Mm. And
you
even
know.
and even though like I guess it's a celebrity, I remember another thing about him that I loved is that the premiere, he came through the doors and loads of people were taking pictures, and I see him walking through
The
and I was
back.
like, yeah, and I was at the back and everyone was 50, 50, 50, 50, and he just walked past everybody, came straight up to me, gave me a hug, and I was like, wow, 50, but I wasn't
Oh,
expecting that. And he's like,
of
I'll never
course.
forget a friend, didn't it? So he gave me a hug and I was like, no, cool, brother. And we,
Right.
do you know what I mean? It was nice, man. It's nice
Yeah,
for him to be of that level and not
of course.
look down on people, man. So yeah, I've got mad respect for 50, man. Curtis
That's
he's cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've been around some inspiring people, but they saw in you something special. And I think we sometimes forget that, there's a lots of people that are doing things, but we've all got something very special to offer the world. And I think people need to understand that.
Yeah.
There's a celebrity status, but there's something special in us all. It's just tapping into whatever that is.
No, definitely.
Um, and I think that's really important. So you moving in those circles, climbing your career, and now mentoring. You've done a lot for young men. Right now, we're in a very heavy season. We had 2 seasons in one, didn't we? We had
Yeah.
COVID to deal with to try and keep healthy, and then we've got the Black Lives Matter movement, which was
Mm.
literally attack on our brothers.
Yeah.
And that was a tough one to watch. And I think I was speaking to my dad the other day and said the power of that moment was so more powerful because we was home. We was
Mm.
actually more focused than we've ever been,
Mm.
because there's been so many more cases of that. Not as extreme as what happened with George, but there has been other cases. So what happened with him that hit us hard is because we were so more focused, we were so more sensitive
Mm.
to feelings, and we was
Yeah.
aware, absorbing. I don't know if he was like me. I was watching the news every 5 seconds. It was behind me, just seeing what my life's going to be like today. But
Yeah.
then when we saw that, I don't think anyone who saw that could ever disagree with what it did to them.
Yeah. I mean, it inspired a lot of stuff that I'm doing now. It won't be the first time that something like that happens, and it definitely won't be the last, unfortunately. But it's the first time that I can recall where it's been a global thing. When Mark Duggan was killed in the UK, it only really affected us. I mean, obviously I knew Mark, but it only really hit home to people that were from London, really, and it filtered out a little bit. But other countries
Yeah.
didn't care about it. Do you know what I'm saying? But when George got killed the other day, this is the first time whereby it's filtered out to the whole world at the
The whole
same
world
time.
was touched.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the whole world was touched, and that's why with the whole rise of the Black Lives Matter and the whole coming together has happened, because it's something that everybody in the world is unified in. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not one of those
No,
things where
totally.
it touches one little segment, because this has been going on for a long time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this thing with George is the first time where it's hit
Yeah.
globally. Do you know what I mean? And
No,
we
it was,
all,
as I said, unless you was in space,
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
was affected by that moment,
Listen,
and even in space, it was
yeah,
being used. They saw it was being there.
yeah,
It was beamed on the moon.
the aliens up
Mm.
there saying, yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is crazy.
I, what I do think though,
To ask you,
what I do think would have been interesting is if George was white and the officer was black. I wonder how things would have turned out if that was the other
it
way
would have been a
around.
bad day. It would have been
It
a
would,
very bad day for the police officer.
yeah, it would have, yeah, it could have gone. It would have been horrible.
But that says something, doesn't it? The fact that we even said that shows you there's a problem. That shows you there's an imbalance. It shows you that the system doesn't move in the direction it's supposed to in an equal way.
Do you know what? No,
And
go on,
that
babe,
can't
sorry.
be good, can it? No, so
Yeah,
after you, Fredi.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, this is the thing. Okay, so it's nothing new. We've all known this. That's why I've got a film that I'm making right now, which is all about that whole thing. And it's nothing new. We've all known, and we all know how the whole situation goes with the police. And it's like anything; they're not all bad. My brother's in the police force. Do you know what I'm saying? So.
No, they're not.
Yeah, my brother's a police officer, and it's like anything. You have good black, you have good white. You have good police officers, you have bad police officers, and
Of
it's a people.
course.
It's not an establishment thing. It's an individual thing because I don't actually think even if we had in America, a lot of the police force are black, and a lot
Yeah,
of
I
them are
know. There's a
Hispanic.
lot of, yeah.
So it's
Yeah, that's right.
then it changes the dynamics of things because I feel like in the UK we tend to look at it as in the racial element is black white, whereas in
Yeah,
America they're talking
yeah,
about everybody against the police force. It ain't
that's
a
correct.
white black. It's just we just don't like police. Do you know what I mean? They
Mm.
just don't like police. They're anti-police, full stop. Whereas in the UK,
Mm.
we've kind of segregated the two things into black, white, black three things: black, white, racist, and police force. Do you know what I mean? So
That's
they're
correct. Yeah.
both kind of two different areas, I guess. UK and US is
I mean, it's,
different.
what's so awful is, as you said, there's good and bad in everybody. And, we can attest being in the industry we're in and
Mm,
just in general, living in England, we're around every culture. I have friends
mm,
in all cultures, and some of my closest friends are English people, people from Brazil. And it
mm,
hurts me because if you put all children together, your son growing up, he's
mm.
hanging with white boys, hanging with Indian boy. It upsets me to think there's a point in our life where there's just the conundrum shifts.
Well,
We're
yeah.
just
Well,
hanging out as kids, and then somehow there's a dynamic that kicks in, and then this happens, and it breaks my heart because we weren't born that way.
that's the thing. Children don't see color. You know what I mean?
No,
Like under the age of 10, even they don't see color. They just see good and bad. And
yeah,
it's anything that's instilled into them is passed down by adults, parents, um, teachers, and episode.
society,
Yeah,
energy.
yeah. And it's sad because I remember I didn't really see color until I became a teenager. Really, you know what I mean? Nothing
Yeah.
really. You don't really see color. You just see individual people. So
I,
yeah.
I remember though, I was thinking about the other day, and because you can't hide what's happening in the media, so you're kind of quite affected by the energy and the experience because you can only speak from your kind experience. And growing up, I remember being called rubber lips because I had full lips,
Me
but then
too.
cosmetic. Yeah, that's good though because
Yeah,
they pay thousands of pounds for this now.
exactly. I remember
These
saying
lips
that.
cost
I remember
these are
saying
these
one
are
day I grew into mine. I used to get names like Liplodocus and Lippity Doodah and Lippity Doodah,
and walk
but
around. It was horrible.
yeah, rubber lips. But see now we've grown. Our faces have grown into our lips, and now
Our faces have
people.
grown in,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now, Freddie,
yeah,
this is a business,
yeah. You see,
So what's so amazing from those moments growing up, and it did affect me, I'm not going to lie, it's not nice someone's going to pull things about you that is
mm,
part of you and
mm.
make you feel bad. But now, aesthetically, what I have is perfect.
Yeah,
The world wants.
exactly.
Isn't it crazy? Oh,
Listen,
okay.
I
I
used to
can roll
get
with that.
rinsed. Yeah, I used to get rinsed in school. They used to call me hovercraft lips and all that kind of stuff. Like,
That's really awful. That's
yeah,
not nice.
I used to get murdered with it, Liplodocus, all these weird names. Yeah, but somebody said to me that one day you're gonna get older, right? And
Yeah.
Tim Westwood, hello Tim, hello my brother.
Hey,
Got to salute
Tim.
Tim.
Oh,
How you
wow.
doing,
I haven't
Tim?
listened. There's a story on Tim. Renee.
Tim, how
Remember
you
me,
doing, my
Tim,
brother?
from the Friday show. After
You
you.
know,
Sorry, darling.
I got mad love for Tim, man, because you know what? There was a
Wow,
time.
that's the
There's a
man.
yeah. He's got Tim. I know you've received a lot of slack recently, man. But you know what, brother? I will always salute the movement, bro. Because when I first was doing my hip hop and my rap music, Tim had my back 24/7. And when other
Very good.
DJs weren't playing my music and they weren't playing Fredi Krueger, Tim Westwood put me on his show. He put me on his first CD, Westwood
Yeah.
volumes. So I'll always salute him no matter what, man. So thank you, brother.
And
You're part of my
thank you for
legacy, bro.
joining. And I've got a story for you, Tim. I had a song, I did a track over, because I had to do a lot of underground stuff in my early days. And it was over Jadakiss. And it was called It's Friday. And I went to a few other radio stations and Tim played it on his Friday show. So
See what I'm
he's a
saying?
man.
Yeah, that's what I'm
He's a
saying, man.
man. He supported me. So
Yeah,
thank you, darling. Thank you.
brothers
Still
done a
here. We're
lot.
still strong.
Yeah, done a lot for music, man, and a lot for UK hip hop, and a lot for hip hop
He has.
globally. Do you know what I'm
He
saying? A lot
has.
for hip hop globally. So I salute him all the time, man.
Oh, that's amazing. No, it's beautiful. But yeah, so your project, talk to me.
Okay,
You got a new
so
project coming out,
yeah,
fundraising. What's
it's all
happening
good.
with it?
So basically, like, my son has a heart condition, so I was like, I didn't want to be walking around marching, waving banners and stuff because of the COVID situation.
Of
So I was like,
course.
when everybody stops waving their fists around, saying Black Lives Matter, when people are talking about um, uh, putting down the banners and all that kind of stuff, what can I do? So I was like, you know what? I'm a writer, I'm a director, I'm a producer, so why not make a movie? So I've written this
Hmm.
movie along with two of my colleagues. We are now called We Three Kings. We're all strong entrepreneurs. Myself, Joseph Faraday, and Grayson McRae. I've got
Okay.
a film. It's called On the Other Foot. And it's basically about an extremely racist white guy who wakes up black. I mean,
Are
he
you
literally,
serious?
yeah, he's a staunch racist. His daughter is a millennial though, and she goes out with a black boy. And what happens
Oh
is,
God.
he's pissed. He's like, that's his worst nightmare. And so she makes a deal with him and says, look, if you come to the church, his church with me, I will come
Hmm.
to your English Defence League meeting with you. So he comes
Hmm.
to the church with his daughter. He's the only white person in there, and he's anti-black and all the rest of it. He goes home, and then he wakes up black the next day. So now he's got a certain amount of time being racist, but living inside a black body. And it basically
That's
tells the
interesting.
story of all the things that he has to go through, what we go through as black people, the issues we face.
Interesting.
And in the end, it's a feel good story. It's not a black
Mm,
versus white thing. It's just
of course.
everybody versus racist, and it allows for people to guess, if you like, see what we go through on a daily basis through black people. We've
That's
managed to,
amazing.
yeah, we're doing well. We've raised 150 grand off. Yeah, thank you. Ourselves, I put in money. My colleagues are putting money, but we're now trying to raise the last 100 grand through
Okay.
Indiegogo. So there's a link in my bio,
Yep.
and if
I'll
you
do a
click on,
swipe up and stuff,
yeah,
and I'll
yeah.
do a shout out and all of
Thank
that
you,
for
Don. Yeah,
you. Of
yeah,
course. Of
yeah. That
course.
link, people can buy perks. If you're an actor, you can buy a part in the film. You can pre-buy tickets to the premiere, or you can just donate.
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah. That's amazing. That's interesting because you're right. You know, until you walk someone's shoes, you never really understand what
yeah. That's
it
the
makes you feel like. And it's
yeah.
quite interesting. And I think that means from the person of being a person of color, you know, I have people who are Muslims and they said like they'll go to the airport and they just get treated terribly because people back when it happened with the September 11th, everyone who's Muslim was getting, you know, literally
Mm,
pulled to one side. So until you experience that, until you know
mm,
what it feels like to be constantly judged and your journey, the fact is, a man of color, you
mm.
can wear a suit one day and you're a Wall Street boy or
Yeah,
you're a city
exactly.
boy, and you can put on your hoodie, which you're going to do a jog, and you're literally shifted what
And that's
they see
exactly
in the stereotype, which isn't that
yeah.
crazy?
It's crazy, and that's what
It's crazy.
we kind of do in this film. We explore all those different elements of what people see and stereotypes. I remember there was a time when you see Asian people wearing, for example, a rucksack on their back or something, and all of a sudden everyone would look at them weirdly. Do you know what I mean?
You
And
know
things
what?
like that.
I'm not going to lie, right? I remember once I was on and I say this, and I've said this to my Muslim friends, I was on the train and somebody, because they pray quite a lot throughout the day, don't they?
Mm,
I think we can learn a
mm,
few things in Christian world. And I got scared because I know what happens sometimes before things would happen or a certain incident, they would pray beforehand.
oh
So
wow.
I even had, so, you know, you become sensitive to things. Not that I thought for a second, but became sensitive. And I think
Mm,
it's creating awareness. I think people have an impression or a stereotypical image of people. And as I said, you wear a suit one day for a business meeting to talk about your deal, and then you'd put on a jogging boot and a hat, and suddenly your dynamics shifted. Why is that?
mm. It's true.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. It's mad. It is mad. I feel like there's a lot of those things. I mean, we all stereotype people to a certain degree, and I mean, it's part of living and it's part of our defense mechanism. So we see people and our barriers and our shields go up. But that's what keeps us alive. But it's when you start acting differently towards those people and treating them different, it becomes a problem. Do you know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with seeing someone and not being too sure or not
Yeah,
liking
because
something
I think
about them. That's
you have to
natural.
be aware. We have
Hmm.
to be aware because we don't know. There's different dynamics of different people. So, but it is, you're right. If you hold on to those feelings, that's where
Hmm.
it becomes a problem,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's when it becomes something
Mm.
completely different, and you're moving the goalpost now. Because what started off as a general alertness now becomes you're actually being horrible to somebody or disrespecting them or treating them a certain way, that moves the goalpost now. That's not necessary. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. And then, so talk me through, like, obviously, a lot of people on here might have an idea about the entertainment industry, but what's the journey? Now you wrote the script. How did it happen? Was it literally based on what's happened with the Black Lives Matter movement, or did you have this idea beforehand?
Okay,
How does it
so
move into movie production, post production? What's the
okay, so
journey?
So I've got a film that comes out. I wrote another film actually, and
Oh,
it comes out. It comes out this October. I won a Screen Nation award for it this week.
oh, did you?
Yeah, yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. Thank you. It's called The
You're
Living
welcome.
Dead, and it's got
Okay.
Professor Greens in it.
Mm,
Charles Venn, Cadet, rest in peace. There's so many people in this film. Winston Ellis,
that's
loads of people.
amazing.
So that we made that film a couple of years ago. It comes out this October in the US, UK, and also Canada. So in terms of writing, once I have an idea or something, I just put pen to paper and I kind of zone out. And so the first process, I guess, is just getting your ideas on paper because you can have all these
Right.
ideas in your mind, great ideas in your mind, but it's in your mind. So what I've had to do is, write the script, but there's so many things. This is an interesting script for me because there's so many things we go through as Black people. Do you know what I mean? There's so much stuff that happens to us, and trying to get
Yeah.
it all condensed into a film that doesn't just look like you're throwing loads and loads of stuff out there and actually have a
Yeah.
story. So I've had to like
Of
look at it, but also it's a love story as well. It's not just your um, racist guy wakes up. It also, if you can imagine,
course.
most men, if a man has got a daughter, you'd love to see the kind of person that she's going to date, if that makes sense. So then you could say to her, look, don't date that guy. So in this case, when the racist guy turns black, he's also a young Black guy, and he
Oh,
gets to
really?
hang out with his daughter's boyfriend. So now,
That's good.
not only is he a father, a racist white guy, he's also a father, and now he's hanging out with the Black guy that his white daughter loves. So he gets to
Oh,
see that it's just a color thing, but this guy actually is the best person for his daughter compared to what
oh,
he
that's
thought.
nice.
So
Yeah, he had an impression.
he had an impression of Black people, but this by hanging out
Mm,
with this young man, he's now got to
yeah.
understand just that. You know what I mean? There's more to it
How
than
nice the
color.
guy
Yeah,
is.
yeah, how he
That's
really
nice.
is. Yeah. So it's a double edged. It's a love story, but it's also
Mm.
waking up on the other foot, if that makes sense. So yeah,
Yeah, I like that. It's really, I love the title is phenomenal. And
yeah.
then,
So
when do you film? Obviously, don't give
yeah,
too much away because you want this element of surprise, but
yeah.
how
So the
does that
film.
work? And, mm,
Well, we start. I mean, we start pre-production in September.
okay.
The plan was to shoot in November, but everyone's talking about this second wave of COVID and all that kind of stuff, and
Mm,
the whole industry has been hit really hard
I
by
know.
COVID, especially the
Yeah,
entertainment industry. So
I
I had a
know.
meeting yesterday with my colleagues, and we're looking to maybe bring it forward a bit. So it looks like
Okay.
we will probably start pre-production in August now, and look to film in September, so that we miss the
Yes.
yeah
Whatever they think's gonna.
whatever they think's going to happen. And
Yeah.
we've got some good cast lined up. We haven't started casting yet, but we've got Quentin Aaron. I don't know if you remember a film
Okay.
called he was in the Blind Side with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
We've
That's
got him.
amazing.
Yeah, we have him flying in. We've got Lady Lee Sharp in the cast. Um, we've got Tim Faraday from Snatch in the cast. And we
Oh,
haven't
that's
even
one of
started.
my favorite. That's
Yeah,
one of my favorite.
yeah,
Like
and we have.
that film was just.
And we haven't even started casting yet. These are just people that and JJ is a young guy called JJ that just blew me away with his talent. Young Black guy. He's such a humble, lovely little kid, and it's about
Yeah.
creating a legacy. So we put him in the
Of
film as
course.
well.
Of
So
course.
yeah, it's a community film, even though it's a film for commercial purposes, if that makes sense. It's a film that we're
Yeah.
making that people can be a part of. So there's lots of clothing brands.
Oh,
I'm trying to get as many clothing brands in it as I can, as many Black businesses as I
okay.
can. So we're doing all this
Yeah.
stuff to kind of like come together and see if we
That's
can uplift each other. So
amazing.
yeah, it's going good.
That's really good. I love that. I love the, community is so important. I think, through COVID-19, community has definitely increased. Families
Mm.
increased. Relationships have been built. Some
Some have
relationships
been
ain't worked
broken. I
because
was gonna
they
say to you.
realize that actually, like, is this
Yeah,
who you really are, kind of thing.
yeah,
And it's
yeah, yeah,
sad.
yeah.
But at least we've got together as
Mm.
people. We can now do. I had my first birthday on Zoom. That was
Oh wow.
crazy.
Yeah. What's that on
Yeah,
you? What's
it was
that
so.
on you?
I'm end of May, Gemini.
Oh, okay, I'm Aries. Mine was
Are
right in that.
you?
Yeah, mine
My
had a
brother's
massive.
Aries. My
What day
brother's
is?
Aries. He's a 19th.
Oh, I'm the 5th. I had a massive party, fancy dress party planned, man. I was coming.
Oh,
Every year I have a crazy party every year.
do
And I was,
you?
yeah, man. But it's all right though.
Oh,
Next year's gonna be crazy. Next year, I do.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna party hard next year. We got a bunch of trips
Yeah,
next
you
year,
got
so yeah.
to. As I said, in this season, we're just grateful that we're here. Our health is right. We're able
Mm,
to live good. I think that's what we have to be grateful for. And it was a beautiful thing to be able to see your family. And,
mm,
I'm from the Caribbean, so people were doing different things. Someone was cooking, someone was driving. It was hilarious. So it
yeah.
was good fun, to see your people. And that's what you want, isn't it? To know everyone's healthy and
No,
happy.
100%. And it's like, do you know what? I mean,
Mm.
as much as everyone was angry or pissed off or annoyed about the COVID thing, it's like it's one of those things in the history that will be written down in books. Like, and
Yeah.
if you was a part of that COVID scenario, then you were part of history. Do you know what I mean? Because this is like I don't remember a time in my life where the whole world's been on lockdown. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
So
How do they do it? So like
yeah,
I've got someone said the Gemini crew, DJ Chuck Norris said
Chuck
Gemini,
Norris,
hey honey. And someone
Brendan,
said they did their 40th in the middle of the lockdown. Wow,
yeah,
26th of March.
that's Brendan Carr. Yes, Brendan, how you doing, brother?
Brendan, hey.
Yeah,
No,
Brendan's a cool guy.
I don't know how they did it. They got everybody to go stay at home.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Do you know what? The media controls the world, isn't it? So we know how this thing works, and it's like
Hmm.
fear is the biggest form of control, and there's
Hmm.
so many different analogies and these different mindsets that are going on around the world. But it's like it's what you believe in it, and if you can get the masses to be scared of something, you can control them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, we were scared. We was at home.
Listen, listen.
We didn't leave. There
I'm
was
still
it was
scared.
silent on the
Yeah,
road.
do you know
Birds were
what?
out. They were like, what is going on?
And this is the thing: the economy is everyone's out and about, and people are not understanding that this is not because it's safe. It's because the economy
No, it's not.
needs to get running, else the
That's
country
it.
will
We need to
fall.
inject it. Yeah,
Yeah,
we have to
so
be walk with caution.
and that's
Yeah.
basically what it is. I see all these block parties and people in the park raving, and I'm like, people. Listen, the other day people was dying, and now everyone's
Yeah,
out here partying like it's gone away.
that's
Nothing's gone
right.
away.
It's not gone anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
We need to be careful.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to walk in faith as well.
Mm.
You have to believe that things will get better. I have this faith in me that we will, but we do need to be sensible
Yeah, I mean that's
because it's
exactly
not
that.
gone anywhere. It's just like it's reduced.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's reduced.
It's just that
That's what's happened.
we know it's there. Before it's been happening for a
Yeah.
minute, but now it's that we're aware of it. We know it's there, but it's like
Mm.
doesn't mean that because all of a sudden people are not walking like part. You can wait. 6 months won't kill you, or a year
Yeah.
not to go to a club or not go to a party. And I'm seeing, I went, I drove past. I mean, I walked. Sorry, we drove past Clapham Common, and it was ram. People were sunbathing. And I'm like, it was like, do you know what I mean? It's like a festival. And I'm like,
Yeah.
do these people not know that there's people out here that are really dying and lost loved ones? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? We,
I think the whole thing of being inside, it's been tough. People, it's been a tough thing. So I think they're just trying to get out. But as I said, they need to walk with caution. You've got to be careful. The government are telling us, we can come out, but it's not gone anywhere. And
exactly.
unfortunately, as you know, culturally, as people of color, we are of the people that can be very affected by it as well. So we need to
But
be
that's what
very
make,
careful.
but that's what makes it worse. They've
Yeah.
announced that people of color are the most at risk, but we're the ones that are
Yeah.
doing the big parties as well. You know what I'm saying? The block parties. I'm like, maybe we're all getting different memos because listen, for instance,
There's no block party happening here.
listen, I went Sainsbury's and back. That's it for me, mate. Sainsbury's and back. And I got
Food
my
and back for
mask
mum
on.
and
Yeah,
dad.
I got my mask on, and I keep my social distances. I see people that I know and they're like, "We're Fredi." I'm like, "Yeah, hello." Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Text me.
It is funny.
Yeah,
It
text me
is
from
funny
over
because
there.
you're almost kind of like you're more aware of people. You're like, oh, you don't get too close.
Mm. See,
Yeah, you just gotta be.
keep off the track mentioned exactly. Keep off the track, man. Ty,
Yeah.
our good friend Ty. I mean, to be fair, Ty did beat COVID. He came out of the
Oh,
coma.
really?
Yeah, he had COVID, and then he beat COVID, but then
Oh, you're
he
kidding
caught
me.
pneumonia back in hospital afterwards. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, my goodness.
So yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm so glad you're here. And goodness me, what a story. You just look
Yeah.
after yourself, brother. Get holistic, really go back. There's a lot of holistic things growing up as a child in the Caribbean, African. Just get it all out. The bush tea, everything.
Yeah,
To
you got
help us along,
yeah.
We need
I'm
to
on my
really go back to,
I'm on my
yeah,
maca, my moringa seeds, all that
yeah,
stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah,
yeah.
100.
And then, mentoring, it's very important for us, myself as a woman, I mentor, you mentor, to give back to young people. They can only inspire to be something when they see it. So
Of
it's really
course,
important
of
that they
course.
have something to inspire to. We are naturally very gifted people in entertainment, in sport, in singing. But there's so much more to us. We are doctors, we are dentists, we are scientists. And a lot of these youngsters need to realize there's so much more to you. I come from a corporate background. I sit in a boardroom. I get my business, but also I get on stage and perform. So they've got to be rounded. You want them to understand that, yes, we can make money. Entertainment is a very lucrative industry. You've seen it. I've seen it. But we still need to have our business in check. And I think for us in the public eye, we've got a lot of work to do. You can't sit still.
I definitely agree. I think that a lot of the issue with us is that, and I remember when I was rapping and I was doing my music back in the day, we were just happy with being seen. Do you know what I mean? I was happy to get on stage and spit bars. I was happy with walking out and people saying, right, that's Fredi, that's Kruger. But the business element of it was always lacking. And you look at what's going on now. And I always say to people, we need to start owning. And if we want to change the narrative of what's going on, and we need to start owning our own. So in America, you have, for example, Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry owns the biggest. Listen, I remember when Tyler Perry started and he was doing those little dresses, those films in dresses, and people were laughing at him. Yeah. And now he owns
didn't realize what was happening.
The biggest, or one of the biggest studios in America. And sometimes it's about having a vision and knowing. Do you know what I mean? You have to set yourself a vision, and you have to aim for that vision and know where you're going. So that's
no, you do. I think it's crucial. We've really got to get better, work together. It's really important. There's enough space for everybody. There's a big world out here.
Exactly.
I think some people, it's not round. It's round for a reason. You have Brazil, Australia, and I could keep going. Africa, and there's space for everybody to shine.
Definitely.
But collectively, you're stronger in a team because you can see things that your business partner might see, and people come to me and go, "Oh, Renee, try this." I'm not an island on my own. I'm just not. I need to be around people that can give me honest and open responses to things that I'm doing.
Of course. And to be fair, that over the years, that's been one of my major problems, man. The fact that trying to find someone who works the same as I do makes it almost impossible. And so I'm so used to doing everything on my own. So my last film, I wrote it, I directed it, I produced it, I cast it, I done everything. And so it's like, yeah, it's great.
Was there anything you didn't do? Because everybody else so funny. That's what happens though when you.
But it's great because you get it done. But it's bad because then when you have to relinquish things to people, you're watching like, don't mess up my thing, do not, do you know what I mean? So, and we have to learn to be able to work together and realize that the strength is strength in numbers. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why now I try to collaborate with a lot of people and I try to have conversations. It always starts with a conversation. Do you know what I mean? So I try to have conversations with people that spark things up and lead to certain things. You have to, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go as a team.
No, you're completely right. I think teams are very important. I've along the way, when I've met young people, I've always said to them that you'll be surprised if there are things that you might be involved in, which are lucrative and have lots of risks associated with them, to channel that same mindset, the engineering that you do in certain environments. Can you imagine when you put that into business? Because you've got a system going here. You've got operations going.
Exactly.
Team being builded. You got phone. Come on now,
exactly.
telecommunication. Use this in a positive way, guys.
100%. When I go into prisons, I go into schools, I talk to some of these young people that are making money on the roads. I'm like, listen, you're not doing anything different from a CEO.
No.
You're doing exactly the same thing, but all your thing is just illegal. So take that same energy, the same power, the same input you put on the roads and put it into something constructive. Even with actors, people say to me, I want to be an actor. But you know what? Everybody's been acting all their life. I don't know one person who's not an actor. Because you go into an interview, you're not the same way when you're at home. You meet a person for the first time and you go on a date, you're not that same person when you're with your friends. So everybody is acting in some shape or form. So it's just about being able to channel that same energy and make it.
It's a good analogy. I like that.
Turn it into a profession. Do you know what I mean? You turn it into a profession.
No, definitely. And it's encouragement, you know. I had Patrick Hutchison and the team and Russell for United, which Inspired to Change. And I was talking to them, and a lot of these young people just lack love. You know, we have to remember some of these environments, some of these circumstances are really heart-wrenching, right? It's survival, isn't it? They're trying their hardest to survive now. But we have to inject love, and we have to show them that they have a place in society and they are special. You know, when you've got that love, and we forget that. I've been very blessed to have a mother and father, brothers and family, which are beautiful and tight. And I've always been told I'm a queen. So I rise up. If you've not had that, what do you expect them to feel like?
Yeah,
if you've not had a hug.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
it's true.
We've got to bear that in mind. Not saying that's the reason, but we've got to, love is everything.
100%. And I think, and especially as young men, young black men, we're taught to always want to be strong. Always going to be tough. You grew up in an environment where any form of weakness is a weakness. If you show a sign of emotion, you're weak. Do you know what I'm saying? And we come up like that, and that's why there's so much mental health and so much suicides and all that kind of stuff. Because as a man, to show any sign of weakness is deemed something wrong with you. Do you know what I'm saying? When in fact, things like crying are powerful things. You would need to. It's a normal emotion. The first thing you do when you were born is cry.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So why has crime been turned into something which is deemed a weakness when the first sound you ever make when you come out is you cry?
I think it's because it's violation, isn't it? When there's a vulnerability, we've got to remember when it comes to certain environments, when you are vulnerable, then people can take advantage. You know, you're weakest. A classic. I remember growing up and there'd be dogs out. There's not so much now. And we you know, be out playing in the park. Kids played in the park back then, right? And then there'll be dogs that will come chasing us and we'll be running. One thing I was told, don't cry. You cry, you slow down. There's a vulnerability. Keep strong and run. And I know it's a silly analogy, but I mean it. The vulnerability of tears, people think, oh, that's your soft point. I can get you now. And that's what it is. It's a guard, isn't it?
And that's the thing about the whole thing. It's a falseness. I remember my mum passed away last year.
And
last year, March 10th. And people were like, oh, Fredi, be strong, man. Be strong, Fredi. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be strong. Nah, I'm all right. I've been strong all my life. I've lost 45 of my friends have been killed in gang violence. I've had people die in my arms. I've had people's faces shot off. I've had to push in people's stomachs after they've been stabbed. I was heavily involved in gang culture for a long time. So when my mum passed away, and everyone was saying, be strong. For the first time in my life, I said, no, I don't want to be strong. So I allowed myself to cry. I allowed tears to come out. I allowed myself to feel low. Because if you can't cry and you can't be like that when you lose your mum, when can you be like that? And you get to a point where you're tired of walking around like, you know what I mean, and putting on a face and having to be tough all the time. So then that's when you actually realize there's more strength in tears than there is in trying to act like you're tough. Do you know what I'm saying? And a lot of mental health, a lot of stress, a lot of these things come from bottling up emotions and not allowing yourself to let them go. Do you know what I mean? Stress is one of the biggest killers, and that's because we especially as men, we take it on and we hide it and we keep it in ourselves and we don't cry. And that time,
Yeah,
I allowed
you have
myself to
to.
cry. I remember crying like a
Oh.
baby, and people were looking at me. I was trying to style it out like I had hay fever, but there's too much tears. I was
No,
like,
that,
yeah.
that's your mother. I can't even
Yeah.
imagine.
Mm.
My heart goes out to you. That's a tough one.
Yeah, you know what?
You know.
It was an eye opener. Me and my mum's
Yeah.
relationship was crazy, and we managed to fix it over the last 10 years. But it was a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? To be able to, do you know what it was? I wanted to cry. It's just such a weird thing. Like because I've come from my background and I've been a certain way all my life, I never cry. And people that know me kind of know and I've always looked at myself like you're a bit like a monster. You're a bit of a weird, like, do you know what I mean? You do things, you're able to do stuff. Like, what's wrong with you? And when my mum passed, mum was sick. She had dementia. When she was ill, I remember all my brothers and sisters were in bits, and I'm looking at them like, what's wrong with you lot? Do you know what I mean? So when she passed, I've wanted to cry and I needed to cry to allow myself to know that I wasn't some kind of monster who had no emotion.
Of
So,
course.
so where,
And you know what it is? I said, everybody, there's a journey, there's a story. It's really important. As I said, that was a form of healing for you. And, you know, you have a son that you are now going to train all the things that you want you would have wanted for yourself. You're going to just say to your boy, you're going to speak life into him
100%.
and tell him to be vulnerable because it's okay, you know.
Me and my kids, we talk about that. Even today, we went for a walk, a long conversation, and I told him it's all right to cry, man. Like crying's a beautiful emotion, man. Like it cleanses your soul. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it cleanses your soul. It allows you to breathe again, man. So doesn't mean walk around like every 10 seconds.
Not too much, but enough.
But
But as you said, you just got to be real. I think we've got to really dig into our true selves. You know, I think we spend too much time trying to be something, but actually just be you, be the best version of yourself, and just be.
Exactly, and that's what I say to everybody, man. I tell everybody this. There's nobody, even these people watching the show. There's no one better at being you than you.
Thank you. That's special.
Exactly. No one.
You know what? Everybody's unique, special, and beautiful. That's right.
Exactly. And
don't ever forget that.
No one can be you, and no one can be better at being you than you. So when I look at other people trying to be other people, I'm like, why would you want to be somebody else? Be yourself, man. Be you.
Be
you know what I mean? Be yourself and love yourself and harness yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you want to be somebody else? Everyone's like, this is the thing. I talk for myself. I'm from a place before YouTube, before Twitter, before MySpace. And when I first started doing music, you had to be somebody. Like Glamorous Kim, I see you. When I was going up and down performing at shows in Hackney and Tottenham, there was no YouTube, there was no Instagram. So you had to be somebody. If your name was ringing bells, they'd know about you in Hackney, or they'd know about you in Tottenham, just because your name was ringing bells. Now everyone's got YouTube. So my point being is that if you have faith in what you do as a person, that you need to follow that energy and not worry about what other people think or what other people say. And do you know what I mean? Like love yourself and carry on being you. No,
you're completely right. And this is all powerful stuff. And, people listening, wanting to go into your industry. I'm going to ask you for 3 nuggets that you feel could help these people. 3 things.
3 things. All right. So I have one very simple rule, and it's I never do no such thing as if. I only do hows and whens.
I like that.
If you do an
give me.
If you do an if means you got a doubt. If means you're not too sure. So I only do hows. How are you going to do something and when? They're the 2 first. That's the first thing I say to everyone. In terms of moving forward, I guess in the entertainment industry, we're both in the entertainment industry, it's believing in yourself. Because you don't ask me to believe in you if you don't believe in you. You want me to support you and believe in you, and you don't even support yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? So, do you know what I mean? You have to believe and love yourself, what you're doing, in order for other people. And the thing is, energy is transferable. Energy is transferable. Right. So if I see you doing something and you're moving a certain way, it's gonna come onto me, and I'm gonna follow the train.
That's right.
But if I'm looking at you, do you know what I mean? I'm looking at you, and you're not really, you don't really believe in yourself, and you want me to believe in you. So that's the second one. Have faith and believe it in yourself. And the last thing I say is never give up. I say it to everyone, never give up, man, because you just never know how close you are. Do you know what I mean? You just never know how close you are to reaching that goal. Do you know what I mean? And you know what? It's worse to regret not trying to do something
correct.
than trying to do it and getting it wrong. Do you know what I mean?
No,
I'd
you're
rather,
right.
you might as well go for it and be able to say I tried rather than
Yeah,
sit back and think I should have tried.
that's correct.
So they're the three things that, and they're transferable things that don't only go towards me and my industry. That's everyone's
Everyone.
industry. It's not just
I
to do
love
with
that.
film and acting. It's just transferable across anything. That's a life rule. They're life rules. They're not industry rules. They're life rules.
No, you're right, Freddie. I think you've said it amazingly. You can't give up. This
No,
season, this season's shown you how precious life is. That
listen.
your tomorrow is not, and I repeat, is not guaranteed to anybody.
Life is life
Yeah.
is life is short, but it's.
Yeah.
Do you know why it's so short? It's because we live to moments. So you see, right now we're all living and waiting for COVID to end. Then we're waiting for Christmas to come. Then we wait for
Yeah.
Valentine's to come. Then we wait for birthday to come. Then we wait for Carnival to come. So we're continuously living for moments, which makes life go fast. This
That's
COVID
right.
thing has blended 12 weeks into one. Like, I'm forgetting what day it's on. I'm having to ask you, it's a
Yeah, I
Wednesday today. And it just shows you when you remove those pressures of moments, life is just, it becomes longer. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because it's
definitely.
not separated like how it normally is. You just got
No.
me. Listen, I'm on this non-stop, powerful.
You need to get some sleep sometimes, Freddie, though. So get some sleep. You're just like
Now,
me. It's ridiculous, I know.
I'll sleep when I'm dead, man. I'm all right now.
Oh, gosh.
Right
No,
now.
how? Yeah, sorry, after you, sweet.
Yeah, no, I've got legacy. It's about legacy building, man. I'm trying to build a legacy so that, do you know what I mean? Okay, right now I'm all right. At some
No, but
point,
you
I'll
know,
go.
you are building. You are. The fact that you're here, your story, your journey, what you've gone through, what you've come through, your legacy's already been built. And people are
Yeah.
watching and inspired. And it's not going to stop because it's part of you now. You got that fire. It's a fire in you.
You
And
know,
it's not coming out for nobody right now. I can
you
feel
know
that.
what? Yeah, I don't play when it comes. Yeah, see, there you go. There's my son, Young Kruger's in the building.
Oh, hello.
There you go,
Oh, that's so
Malachi.
sweet.
I love my
Totally. I'd
son.
rather look back and say I'm tired. Oh, how sweet. Is that your
Yeah.
boy? Hello.
Young Kruger is
Okay.
that's my son there. We was out today. We
Oh,
went to go
that's
and see we went to
amazing.
go and see my dad.
That's
We
nice.
had a nice chat. See that.
That's your legacy.
He's my legacy. He's one of the reasons why I'm alive today. Because I was running
Oh,
around doing a lot of gang stuff and doing crazy stuff, guns, knives, gang stuff. And when he was born, he made me change the way that I thought. And I had to be alive for him. And he's 21 now, and he's
that's
doing good. He's
amazing.
doing amazing, man. So he's
That's
been
a blessing, you see.
Yeah.
There's a blessing. See, God has you. God changed your direction for the good.
Definitely.
And that's all. And that's why you can inspire these young people to show them there is always a way.
Definitely.
There's a way.
Easy Webster,
That's amazing.
I see. Yeah.
Oh,
There's some
all
good
your
people.
fans. That's amazing.
You know what?
Some beautiful people joining today. It's really nice.
There's some good people in the group, man. There's some big people popping up.
Yeah.
Isabella, I see you. C4 Curtis. There's a lot of love in the house, man.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
amazing.
So,
thank you so much for joining. And someone said, hallelujah, amen. That's my words. No, so how can people get you, Freddie? How can they connect, be a part of your new project, which sounds amazing? What can they do? Where do they go to connect with you?
If you go to the link in my bio, click the link in my bio. You can click on the link and you can find all out about the film. You can donate. You can buy pre-tickets for the premiere. If you're an actor and you want to do a little cameo, there's some perks as a cameo. Shasha, I see you. We've got to talk about this church scene. I haven't forgotten. Listen, I'm accessible, man, because you have to realize that it's not about being bougie or thinking. There's a lot of people out here that have done a lot less than some people, but act like they've done a lot more. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like we're all trying to get there. Do you know what I mean? Until you've got Bill Gates money, or until you've got Jay-Z or Dr. Dre money, then make yourself accessible so we can all work together in it. Until that point, start acting like, do you know what I mean? You're so far above everybody that you can't help no one else.
Cool.
Do you know what I mean?
No, you have to come together.
Yeah, we can all rise together.
Look after each other, inspire each other, speak positive things, affirmations.
Exactly.
And keep rising. It's very important.
It takes a village, man. Yeah. And sometimes it can just be words. You don't have to. It's not always about money. You can just speak it and speak positively, and that's powerful enough.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you and all the people that have joined in. Thank you so much. This is all the opportunity to hear someone's story, and your story is amazing, and you're doing great things, and just keep inspiring, building that legacy that you're doing, and keep shining, King.
Thank
Keep shining.
you. Thank you for having me, man. It's been a pleasant
You're
day. I've had
very
a great day.
welcome.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
good. You're very welcome. And have a fantastic weekend.
Yes,
And
you
thank you
too.
so much, everyone that joined. Everyone, it was amazing.
You
And I
too.
can't wait to see you soon. I'll do a shout out for you, okay, Freddie?
Lovely. I'll talk to you
You're
soon.
very
And
welcome.
bye
God
everybody
bless you.
tuning in, man. God bless. Take care.
Definitely. God bless you all. Take care, darling.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.